Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another video on my channel. Today I'll be showing you some of my airplanes. I won't be able to show you all of them in one part, so this is part one of a long series of videos showcasing all my miniature airplanes. These are, I'm going to start off with a 500 scale, so they're 1 to 500, quite small, but then again, they're big machines in real life, so yeah, you need this one, for instance, the Antonov 124 would have looked way too big in normal scale for models. But yeah, so let me just turn this on. If it makes noise, it's because the spinner is showing its age, and it's I think it's about to quit on me. But yeah, this is the an airfoil slash Antonov Airlines Antonov 124. This is an old scheme, hence the old style USSR registration, the CCCP, which would have become an RA, a Romeo Alpha, once the Soviet Union collapsed. All the CCCPs went to RAs, or URs, Ukraine, and other countries, whatever. They usually kept the number. It's just the country that was allocated to would have added the two letter code, or whatever. But yeah, this is 82008. So I don't know off the top of my head, but it would have gone to either Antonov Airlines. So it either went Russian for a while and then Ukrainian. But yeah, doesn't matter. The information can be found on the internet. But it's a lovely model. You can see the nose door, the outline of the nose going up, the way it was loaded, and at the back here, the ramp would have gone down. You can recognize them by all these sets of wheels. It has plenty of wheels, and that's the 124. The 225 is even bigger. Well, much bigger. But yeah, this is my main collection. I always loved airplanes, and I wanted to start off with a big one. Oh, we'll go through them eventually, but I wanted to start with a big one so you can see the scale, how the 500 scale is represented. You need to start with a big one so you can get a comparison. So I'll take the Antonov off, and I'll move on to a 757-300 from NWA, so Northwest Airlines. It does have a registration. Some of them do. November 593 NW. It's like a flying pencil, you can tell. It's I've seen a 300, not this particular one, but I've seen 757-300s in real life, and they do look as long as this model looks, compared to its wingspan and everything, and it works. And it's a lovely machine. Not too many of them were built and used, but I love the 75. Well, I love all of them, but the 757 has always been a soft spot among other things. But yeah, we'll move on to an Airbus from Turkish Airlines. This one has a registration as well, and the name on the nose, just there. You can't tell, but it says Dalaman. The registration is Tango Charlie Juliet Delta Delta, and it's an A310 300 series from Turkish Airlines. You can already see the scale, how little space this takes on the spinner compared to the Antonov 124. And I think I'm going to struggle with the very small ones that are either going to come in this video or in the next videos. The sort of regional jets and the smaller ones, which are no bigger than my thumb, if not smaller. I'll take the Turkish off, and I'll move on to the first Super Guppy, which is an Aerospace Space Lines International 377 SGT Super Guppy, and this is the turbine version. I've seen one in real life. Unfortunately, it has since been scrapped, cut up to bits, But it was an interesting. You wouldn't believe it. This bulge and everything. It's huge. It doesn't really connect how these little, what look like very little wings for its size, can actually give it enough lift. But it does the job, and it did job. Otherwise, uh, yeah, they would have probably crushed it during testing. But it's a beast of an airplane. Um, I don't know if on any of the, yeah, some of the blades spin as well. Yeah, just slightly. And now, to replace this, we're gonna move on to its bigger brother, the again Super Guppy, but this is the Airbus A300 600 ST. So this was used. Well, they were both used for obviously weirdly shaped cargo. I mean, this particular one, this 300 A300 600, would have taken engines, bits of fuselage to the assembly plant in Toulouse from all the other contractors all over the world, or Europe, or but yeah, I've seen these in real life, and now there's a newer version that's based on the A330. This is based on the A300. That's still has the bulge, but it's slightly longer, better engines, and obviously modern avionics, and everything is nice and modern about it. I'm gonna take this off and move on to a Silkway Azerbaijan cargo. I don't know why the top is so yellow. Maybe it was painted like that, because it doesn't make sense for it to be yellow while the rest of the airplane is white. But yeah, something happened there. Or I must have bought it like this. Obviously 4K AZ41 as registration. That's the 4K stands for Azerbaijan's civil register, the two letter, and then they usually do letters and numbers again after the dash. But yeah, the Ilyushin 76s have been the workhorse of Eastern Bloc sort of countries for ages. Like doing all sorts equipment, name it, they would carry it. Well, more like a medium transport, not. Although it does have an internal crane. Um, and yeah, loads of these were produced. They ended up all over the far eastern countries in Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and all these stands. They all had a few. We'll see in the next. I'll try to put some more because I have loads of these. They do. I have a soft spot for Russian aircraft because they're all like the ugly duck, but they did the job. Yeah, so that's that. And now we're gonna move to another freighter. This time a very old classic. This is an Air Gemini cargo, Boeing 727-100 F. So 100 means it's the first ever series of 727, so this is quite old. It would have been the first generation of 727s, and this is a freighter. I do love these old airplanes because they were loud. Pollution-wise, obviously, it's better that we have better engines now and better fuel consumption, but it must have been a sight. I'm too young to have seen these 100s in the air. I have seen 727s, but the sort of the last built ones that were still flying up until recently as private jets or corporate jets and stuff like that. But none of them as cargo. Again, I'm too young for that. Right now, I'm gonna stop this, pause the video, and come back once I have another batch out because I need to put these back in the box. Otherwise, it'll just get hectic around me. Right, back with what I should have started with, which is a 747-200 freighter from Japan Airlines Cargo, or JAL Cargo. Yeah, this is my favorite aircraft of all the aircraft ever built. Massive cargo doors on the side, just there. Um, 500 scale. I'm gonna mention if at some point I squeeze in a 400 scale, because they have become my focus, just because they're bigger and there's more detail. But I still love my 500s. This is a 500. It's made by Herpa, like all the previous ones. Most of them anyway. Can't remember if there was anything different. Let me just have a look. No, they were all Herpas. So yeah, that's the 747-200 series freighter. The JAL logo right there. Let me bring on another Boeing. This time a 767 from Martinair. Registration Papa Hotel Mike Charlie Lima, so PHMCL, Dutch airline. They ended up closing the business as a freight airline. This is a passenger example of a 767 300. A lovely design. I didn't really look into what it was supposed to do, but probably some holiday stuff. But yeah, a lovely aircraft and a lovely design. I'm going to replace that with a 707 from TMA of Lebanon, another freighter, which must have started its life as a passenger and eventually got converted to a freighter. Registration is Oscar Delta Alpha Golf Oscar, so ODAGO. Yeah, the 707 basically started it all. Jet aviation, well, passenger jet flight, anyway, because jet aviation already existed for the military. But this is the granddad of all the airplanes we're flying with today that have sort of jet engines. Yeah, I did say I have loads of Ilyushin 76s. This is the, as I said, the numbers stayed, but now this being a modern, more modern scheme, it has an RA rather than a CCCP. This particular one, in this scheme anyway, is pictured as, well, it has a name, but it's too small to read. Vasily Molokov, and this is the this particular one was used, and the registration was used by the Ministry of Emergency Situations, so MCHS Rossi, as they call it. I can't read those titles on the front in Russian. I don't really do Cyrillic, but yeah, it was quite popular. You can tell. I'm going to replace that with a Bel Air 767. I think this one has a registration as well. Yeah, it's Hotel Bravo India Sierra Echo, so obviously Swiss. HP is Swiss. And this is 767-300. Let me just put this Ilyushin somewhere before I drop it. I don't want that. And I'm going to replace the Bel Air with another airplane that I like, but we won't see anytime soon because all the 4-engine aircraft have been retired. This is a Airbus A340-500 from Emirates. Registration is A6 Echo Romeo Alpha, so A6 era. Yeah, it's sad to see them go, but I have seen them enough of these in real life before they got retired, which future generations will only see in photos. But yeah, I was lucky enough to see quite a few 340s of all series, so I'm happy. I didn't really miss out that much. So I'll take this off, stop this again, and I'll be back in a sec. Right, here we go again. I'm gonna place this nice 777 there. It looks bigger because it's the that's the latest sort of 777. Well, not the latest. Oh, give me a second. I think the wing is, yeah. moving. I didn't pay for this one, so I guess it's a factory error. I didn't the glue didn't stick properly. But yeah, this is an Air China Boeing 777-300 ER, so extended range. Registration Bravo 2031, which is on the modern Chinese register. Beautiful machine. I like them all, but like I said, the 747 is always going to be one of my soft spots. So I'm gonna take the Air China off, and I'm gonna bring another 747 into view. Who else but Japan Airlines to do these crazy designs? They've done quite a few. I have a few myself. You'll see them in the videos. This particular one is a Disney example. It's a 400, a 747-400. It's one of the Dream Expresses. It says 100 years of magic, and it's on the Disney part of the airplane, so the main livery, but on the tail it says JAL 50th anniversary, so must have coincided and they did these specials. But yeah, it's a lovely aircraft, and only the Japanese, a few others, but they're famous for doing these crazy liveries, and I love them for that. So that was the JAL 74, and I'm gonna bring another Ilyushin 76 into play. This time registration Kilo 2561 or 2661. 256, no, 2661, yeah, from the Indian Air Force. It wasn't just used as a civilian. Quite a few air forces used them as well. The Indian Air Force, I think, still has them in their inventory today and might still be operational. I know they have Hercs now, but I'm pretty sure internally they use the 76. This is still or for special airfields where the conditions are not great. This thing can land and take a little bit of punishment. So yeah, but it's another one in my collection. I do love my 76s, not as much as I do with the 74s, but yeah, it's up there with the top. Now change the size with an Olympic 737-200, and you can tell it's a 200 if you know your airplanes by the engines and its size, because it's quite short. And that's one of the early 737s. Haven't seen one flying, so they're long gone, and so is the airline, the Greek airline Olympic. But yeah, lovely machines. The 737 is now still flying today. They jumped from the 800 series to the Max 8 and Max 9, so they well, they had the 900s as well, but they never went to 1000. So yeah, that's a nice 737. And now another 707. I've done one before, a passenger one this time, because I've done the TMA of Lebanon first, which was a freighter. And this is an Air France Foxtrot Bravo Lima Bravo. And it's a 707. Where's the box? Because I don't wanna misquote it. Well, it's a 707, that's for sure. Oh yeah, it's a 300. So it's a 707-300, one of the last series of the 707. But yeah, it's a lovely aircraft, and I think this is after the 747, this might be the airliner that served the longest, sort of the backbone of aviation. But obviously there's other types here and there with various contributions. So I'll take the Air France off, and I'll put a Continental 777-200. It does have a registration. I think it's November 78001. Yeah. and it's bouncing a little bit because it's this thing is vibrating quite badly now. But yeah, 777s are up there. Not my sort of favorite, but as long as they're flying, I love all of them. So yeah, did I do all of them? I'll do one more before I pause to get some more out of the other boxes and put these away. Another 747, this time a KLM Asia, because it did have an Asian uh, division at one point. And it's a 747-400, nicknamed or named City of Mexico, which is a bit weird on a KLM Asia. I must have kept its name even though they had the Asian division. But yeah, so that's the 747-400 KLM. Does it have a registration? It should have a PH. Let me just wait for it to come around. PH BFM, so Bravo Foxtrot Mike. So yeah, and I'll get some more now. Right, let's continue with an Air India 747, another 400 series. I think this one has the registration on the tail there, on the wing, VTESM, easy to spot. Yeah, the 747s are my soft spots, so I've got loads of these. You'll see them in the videos. There's just tons. It was used by so many airlines and in so many schemes. It's hard to catch up with all of them. I don't have all of them, but getting there slowly. And now one I haven't done yet, but this will be the first example of many to come. A Saudi Arabian cargo, MD-11, a tri-holer, a tri-jet, the bigger brother of the DC-10. And I have seen quite a few of these, luckily for me, as they were being retired. I don't think there's any left apart from the FedEx ones, and maybe UPS. Don't know about UPS, but FedEx definitely still uses them. Yeah, I love them. They're just a different style of aircraft, and as freighters, they do a marvelous job. So, yeah. Don't worry, you'll see more. A 757 from America West Airlines, and it's a 757-200. And as you can see, it's named Ohio because it carries the Ohio sort of livery, flag, whatever you want to call it. Haven't seen it in because it hasn't really flown to Europe. But yeah, it's a very neat machine. And we'll move on to another 747, a classic, because this is a, if I'm not mistaken, is it a 200? No, it's a 400, and this is an old livery. The front is the same as it was when BA sort of retired the 747, but this was back in the day when they were doing the special tails, the world tails, and this is, as the tail says, South Africa, so they had a different design on each 747. They had them on the 75s as well. But yeah, I do have most of them, not all of them. But they're just lovely machines. And BA has said, well, they used to do tails or special designs, but now not so much. I think they have a couple of small Airbus A320s, and they did one for the Olympics, one or two for the Olympics in 2012, and that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, they did do a couple of retros before the 747s were retired. I think 3 of them. But yeah, so I'll replace this with an A310 from Tarom, which is a Romanian airline. The airline still exists, the airplane doesn't. I'm not sure, but Tarom lost an A310, so it might actually be this one, YRLCA. But yeah, lovely machine. And I'm going to replace the A310 with an A300 600 series from Lufthansa, and yeah, they had quite a few of these. Well, Lufthansa has been a huge both Boeing and Airbus customer, but this I think this one is Delta Alpha India Alpha Lima, so DIL. And this will be the last airplane in this video to end part one. There's plenty to come, so I'll leave the rest for other videos. I'll call this part one or episode one, and we'll keep going from there. Don't worry, I won't cheat and show you the same airplanes, in between videos. Now I know which ones have featured already, and they will all be different. Although I have duplicates, I'm gonna try not to make this mistake. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching these little airplanes. There's loads more to come, like I said. I'll see you in future videos, and until then, have a great day, and yeah, wish you all the best. Bye bye.